I was around 12 years old. My mom started noticing that I was working funny. At the point she thought I was being lazy. She beat me at some point. The thing sees my strength, my power, so I weak. My mom, she started telling people about it. We were going from one hospital to another, and also churches and everywhere. We were looking for, a kind of solution. But I was struggling to walk with so much difficulty. So we were trying to make it get better before I further my education. During the process, my mom, she sold everything she has because we needed money for the going around. They told my mom that this thing, that eventually I will have to be using a wheelchair because it's going to get even more worse. Until my mom was like, God forbid, in Jesus' name, all of that. So, and that was how we switched to spiritual way, going to churches and everything. And then at a point, I could not raise my body up. I had to start bend walking. So I did that for a while. Then I started getting headaches. That was now when I started using wheelchair.
25-year-old Blessing Omowumi started to struggle with walking when she was about 12 years old. Her mother thought she was being lazy and would beat her up for being unable to lift objects and do things that her mates could do. When her condition was eventually discovered to be muscular dystrophy, her world crashed and she became confined to a wheelchair. Despite the struggle and the hardship she had to endure as a result of this predicament, the young lady pursued the prospect of being educated and rained praises on herself for pushing through and not being limited by her condition. In this interview with Temitope Olaiya and Emmanuel Osodi, she opened up about life and her hope for the future.
My name is Blessing Omowumi, and I just finished a National Diploma program at Federal Polytechnic of Ede.
What did you study?
I studied nutrition and dietetics.
Okay. So tell me, how did we get here?
Well, my family is based in Ibadan, and I would have gone to a school in Ibadan, maybe Polytechnic of Ibadan, but they did not have my course. So, and then the Polytechnic that was closer to Ibadan is here in Ede. Okay. So that's why I got here. And coming here, I finished my secondary school in 2013. Okay. And after that, I had to stay at home. Not really staying at home, like back then we were going from one hospital to another, and also churches and everywhere. We were looking for, a kind of solution because I wasn't using wheelchair then, but I was struggling to walk with so much difficulty. So we were trying to make it get better before I further my education. So that was why I had to stay. And then during the process, my mom, she sold everything she has because we needed money for the going around. So by the time we wanted to okay, maybe I should just further all the same because the condition was not getting any better. It was getting worse. By that time, my mom could not afford to sponsor my education anymore. So, but that was when I met some people on Facebook, so some NGO. So they came to our place in Ibadan and they interviewed me and asked me to try to write JAMB because I already had my WAEC results. So I wrote JAMB. That was in 2019. So I wrote JAMB and I also did. I came to Ede for my post-UTME and I wrote my post-UTME, and that was how I got admission. So after that, one of my brothers, he was the one that I also met him on Facebook, and he was the one that connected me with the NGO back then. So he made a post about me then, and then someone shared it, and another person like saw the post and then reached out that they wanted to sponsor me. So the woman and also with alongside the NGO that asked me to write jam, then they're the one that sponsored my ND program. So and
Okay, okay. But what exactly happened? You mentioned you were not born this way. What happened? At what point did you notice you could not walk properly?
okay, I wasn't born this way, and I was around 12 years old when it all started showing. So my mom, like I also, and then my mom was the one to first complain because I myself, I didn't actually know that something was wrong for like, so my mom started noticing that I was walking funny. So she was like complaining that, "Ah, why are you walking like this, blah blah blah," and all of that. So at the point she thought I was being lazy. Sometimes if because the thing sees my strength, my power, so I like weak. All the things that my mates back then would do with ease, I had to struggle. Maybe it's to lift something, I won't be able to lift it, or to climb even the smallest step like this, I will have to do it in struggle. My mom was thinking I was being lazy, so she would like she would recommend it that, okay, do this thing well, do that. So
Did she beat you at any point?
yes, she beat me at some points because back then I remember we had grinding machine, and then at every night we would take the machine into the house. There is one little step that we have to lift the machine over it, so I won't be able to lift it. So she was like, "Ah, why can't you do this thing? Even someone that is smaller than you can do it," and all of that. So after that, she started telling people about it, that they should talk to me, I should change. So after later we started seeing that it's not something that I'm doing willingly. So people were advising my mom that, okay, buy calcium for her, maybe she doesn't have strength, buy bones and all of that. So we started buying all of that, and it was getting worse. So we decided to go to hospital. We went to Adeoye Hospital in Ibadan. From there, after doing, they made me to like do all these things in front of them, to sit down and try to get up. It's difficult. Try to pick something from the floor. Try to do all of that from sitting position. If I have to get up, I have to struggle myself by walking also. So after all of that, so they now said it's an infection and that it's called muscular dystrophy, and it means gradual weakness of the muscles in the body. So after that, they said there is no cure for it, but physiotherapy can help to slow down the weakening process. So I started from the day I wanted to start physio at Adeoye, they said we should go to UCH. So we went to UCH. They also confirmed that it's muscular dystrophy, and that was how we started. Back then, they told my mom that this thing, that eventually I will have to be using a wheelchair because it's going to get even more worse. But then my mom was like, God forbid, in Jesus' name, all of that. So, and that was how we switched to spiritual way, going to churches and everything. But eventually, I had to start using wheelchair. In fact, before I even start using the wheelchair, because I didn't want to give in to having to use wheelchair, I was struggling and struggling, and then at a point I could not raise my body up. I had to start bend walking. So I did that for a while. Then I started getting headaches from having to walk with my head down. So that was now when I started using wheelchair. My first wheelchair also was given to me by a church somewhere.
Okay, so when they finally found the term for this condition, how did you feel when they said you would have to be on wheelchair for the rest of your life?
Well, actually, back then, I actually didn't think it's going to become a big deal. Like, I thought that just saying, because I was using faith like my mom back then too, that very soon we are going to find a solution. It's all going to end. But as it was getting worse, I had to like start because it's really affected me. With friends and all of that, I just had to struggle. Even some people, when we were in secondary school, they don't know what was wrong with me. Like maybe they all just know, okay, Blessing works funny and all of that, but they actually don't know maybe it's any big deal. Like it's going to become something like this back then. So, and for me, when I started using wheelchair, maybe right from start, I've always been the kind of person that do not, I didn't think it so much. Like I didn't let it weigh me down for real. I had to like, okay, it's not the end of the world. At least I'm still breathing, so I can, if eventually we find solution, fine. And if not, so but then when I was using Facebook then, but because I didn't even have a wheelchair, so there's no reason for me to say anything about it on my Facebook post. When I meet someone on Facebook and we started getting close, maybe friends, I do tell them that I'm like this, blah, 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 just to pour out my mind that something like this, just to share for someone. But I've never, back then, there are sometimes that I do cry about it, like way back. But since a very long time ago, I've made up my mind as never. And the times I used to cry is when I'm sharing my story to someone, like, get emotional and all of that. But it's been very long. These days, when I'm talking about it, I don't even feel any kind of way. In fact, when I'm sharing my story, people will be crying, be like, why are you crying? It's nothing now. Because, Shebi, this is me. I'm here and I'm still here. So, but when I started using the wheelchair, I didn't post about it. I didn't use my wheelchair to take a picture still. And then one of my cousin's sister had to reach out to a person that she knows is also using a wheelchair. So the man had to come from I think it was in Ogun State back then. He came to Ibadan and like counseled me, talked to me and all of that, encouraged me and told me not to be ashamed of it. I can do that. So that was when I started posting with my wheelchair.
Are you the first child?
No, I'm the second born. I have an elder brother.
So how many are you?
We are three.
And where's the last one?
She lives here with me in school. She came with me, so she's also schooling here. She's in secondary school. So
that's how you get by day.
Yes.
Tell us, how do you prepare? Like, does she assist you with bathing and all of that?
No, I can bathe myself, but she has to prepare the water. Like, okay, there's tap, so there's buckets. I can open the tap myself, and I can bathe myself. I use plastic chair to bathe, so I can bathe myself. But it was when we got to this particular apartment, the door to the bedroom is very narrow. So I have to, when I'm done bathing, I have two plastic chairs. So I can't get in or get out with the door. So she has to put a wheelchair outside the door, and then I'll come with my bag and sit on it. So she draw it back, and that's how we do it.
How do you dress? How do you dress up daily? How do you wear your clothes?
I can do that by myself, although with a struggle, but I'll find out, I'll get it done.
So you don't feel limited in any way, you have to cook, do what other ladies are doing. How do you feel?
Well, I can do stuff, at least to some extent. Although, when it comes to cooking, because she's there, she'll be the one running around, bring this, bring that, go and buy this, go and buy that. But I'll do the cooking. So I can do the cooking. I can wash the plates. I wash my clothes myself also. So, but it's just the sweeping. I can sweep if I want to, like maybe just to exercise my body, but it's very, very hard. So I don't do it. But where the limitation is going out, because I can't wheel myself, because my arm is not strong. So I have to find someone to wheel me. So, but I can wheel around the house because the floor is okay. But outside, it's not smooth, so I can't do it.
How were you able to manage when in school?
Well, in school, when I first gained admission, I came here. My little sister was not the one that came with me. I came with one area sister. We were very close, and she came here, so she was learning some work then, and also getting ready to also gain admission. So we came together with the hope that she's going to gain admission also into the school. But during the COVID-19 break, we went back home, and then she found a job and she had to leave. So that was when Nana came back with my younger sister. So when she was with me, during the few months that we were here, she's the one that will wheel me to school and back. Only when I get to school, my classmates, if you have, because when we get to class, we have to go to maybe library for another period. I mean laboratory for another period. So my classmates will be the ones to wheel me and all of that. But when we came here with my younger sister, she's too young. She can't wheel me. So I had to rely on my friends around there, be to want to come and pick me from my house and also to drop me back home.
Were you not getting to lectures late? Like, wasn't this affecting your classes?
It was because there are days that I have to call like 5-6 people before I can get someone who can be available for me. So I can be I'm usually not very late because because they already know that they want to come and pick me. From my fellowship president already volunteered himself for it. So every morning he will come to my place to pick me.
So how do you get into the bus, or do they push you all the way from here to school?
All the way, yes.
So you mean this place is not far from your school?
Yes, it's not far. It's just the road is bad, but we're off it.
So who pays your younger sister's school fees? The NGO or other people?
My younger sister's school is my mom. My mom is paying. It's a public school, so it's not very costly.
And what about your dad?
But my own is being paid by the NGO and the woman that is sponsoring me. So.
Your dad, is he not in the picture?
It wasn't in the picture. Because he and my mom were separated since like 5 years ago. So during the time I was getting the admission and all of that, it wasn't there. They just came back together recently. Like I think late 2021.
And how did you feel about your condition upon returning? He didn't leave you. When he left you, you were not using wheelchair, were you?
No, I wasn't.
So how did you feel getting back to see you that way?
Well, when he got back, he was surprised that I'm in an higher institution. Because, in this condition and having to further my education to go through all this, so it's kind of not, not possible, because you can't think, he doesn't think I would do that, like I will further my education. So when he got back and he was like, wow, you did this, he was like praising my mom, you tried, also praising me, yes, you're doing well.
So What was school like? How were you able to read, study and still do everything expected of you?
Yes, even myself, I used to wonder I'm able to get by because on daily basis it's usually very, very stressful. And once I get home, I'm usually very tired. And then I still have to do the house chores, still cook. But all in that, I still find time to read. I wake up at midnight. So once I got back, immediately I got back, I'll try to lie down because I'll be sitting down since morning. So I'll first lie down and rest. So after a while, I'll get up and start doing all the things that I need to do. So
Are you on any medication, like daily medication, because of this condition, or it's just you leaving everything to chances or to fate?
there's no medication. I'm not on any medication. Although at the hospital, they told me to be taking one particular drug. Like it's also just to slow down the weakening process. But the drug also has side effects. So that's why I do not take it myself. So I'm not on any drug. It's just I just use painkillers for the stress.
Are you dating anyone? Are you seeing anyone, or do men find it difficult to come to you because of your situation?
Um, well, let's say on social media, it's very, very hectic. I get that a lot. And because the kind of person that I am, maybe because in physical life I'm the shy type, so I don't really get very, very close to people. I just normal vibing when we see and all of that. Even at home, I don't have, I don't usually have friends that do come by, but talking about that online, if I get close to someone, they usually find me very, I don't know what word to use, but I'm very, very lovable. So, in fact, having male friends is kind of difficult for me because at the end of the day, they'll kind of like ask me out, and it can be very, very stressful emotionally and all of that. But right now, I'm not in a relationship, but I've been in relationships before.
Okay.
But
And how did that go? Did they leave you because of your condition, or what?
no, not because of the condition, because they already knew about the condition. Even recently, I was thinking of actually making a video for other people that has a disability. That if you want to date someone, then the person should know that they will accept you with the condition. Because sometimes some people might want to date you with the hope that okay, maybe very soon you can get well and not be in that kind of position again. But then when it continues and then you are still in the same way, they tend to like maybe get tired because they didn't really accept you with the disability back then. So I think it may be because of that sometimes, because you know that when they're thinking, okay, let's say by the time, maybe let's say 6 months, she'll be fine. And then everything is still the same way.
So what happens? There is a plan to further your education. What's the plan?
I'm looking forward to further my education. So, but I don't know how that's going to be because, like I said earlier, my mom can't afford it. So I'm hoping someone will, like, I'm sorry, I lost the word.
We'll come to your aid.
Yeah, so I want to further my education, so I'm looking forward to someone coming to my aid to assist me financially because my mom can't afford it. So maybe to go for direct entry because I just finished National Diploma, or to go for higher National Diploma. Anyone, but I want to further.
So you don't mind if it is HND or you switch across to the university?
Yes, I don't mind.
Is it the same course?
Yes.
And have you been practicing that too?
Practicing what?
Yes, like your course. Are you conscious of what you eat, and do you have a restricting diet or what?
Yes, yes. No, no. Although, because as a student, it's kind of hard to uh, to do the balanced dieting and all of that. But at least as a student nutritionist, you have to know a way to patch things up. At least even with the little that you have, there's still a way to do it that you eat well. So,
Okay. But you are beautiful.
yes.
Do you hear that a lot?
Yes, I do.
And how do you feel about that?
Well, it's cool. I'm the kind. Even myself, I'm very positive about myself. So I believe if someone says I'm beautiful, because I know that I'm beautiful.
So how old are you again?
25.
So the plan is to further your education.
Yes.
Now that you're done with ND, are you not moving back to Ibadan, or there's that CWS? I think there's CWS or something.
No, IT. It's IT
yeah.
now. So I'm going to Ibadan, but I'm still in school because of my projects. I'm not done with projects.
Okay.
So I'll be doing my IT in Ibadan.
Okay. So what happens to your sister? Will she move back as well and change school again?
Yes, she's in GSS 3 now. So she's looking forward to writing her junior WAEC. So when she's done, she'll also come back to IB. I can't wait for her because she'll be done, I think, maybe July. So we already arranged that she stays with her friend's family. They attend the same school and in the same class. It's very close to this place too. Even the girl also, because at a point they also tried willing me. So that's her friend and my sister. They are the ones that are now willing me to school and back. So she's very close to us here. So she can stay at her place to finish her junior work and then come back.
Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Is there something that is really on your chest, something that you would like to ask now that we are here?
Well,
Something bothering you?
it's just about the issue of the country, because having the things that make it very hard for us, people that live with disability, to get by is all the barriers that we have to face. Rules, even in this school. When I was in ND1, my class was in upstairs. So, in fact, it was very shocking when I gained admission, but there's nothing to do. We can't withdraw it because we already paid everything. So we had to struggle it. When I get to the downstairs, I will have to call on 3 random guys to lift me with a wheelchair up the stairs to my class. The same way when we're coming down. So all of that is what makes it really hard. Imagine if the roads are smooth. Imagine if even if the building is upstairs, there is ramp and all of that, it will be very, very easy for us to get by. But because that's really what makes it very difficult for us, all the barriers. If not, nothing do us.
Okay. Were you ever mocked in school? Was there a situation or a scenario where your classmates probably, they called you words or names and they used words that were not nice?
No, not at all. Not even from us.
So you didn't feel funny being amongst them, like?
No, I didn't. They were very, very accommodating. In fact, I used to sometimes, there was a day I was thinking to myself that, okay, these people, when they were gaining admission, during JAM, post-UTME, they won't have any idea that they would have to attend class with a special person like me. We just got there and met each other. But they were very, very cool. We just get by so well in class.
Nobody gives you attitude.
No. Even the whole school.
And the lecturers?
No. In fact, they were even very, very supportive and caring towards me. There was a time I was in school. One random lecturer saw me. He came to me and was like, "Are you a student of this course?" I said, "Yes." "Wow, this is so nice. We are very glad to have you among us." And all that. And also my department lecturers are very, very cool, like very caring and lovable and understand. So even when my wheelchair got spoiled at a point, one of my lecturers was the one that he came all the way here with his car to take it, the wheelchair. He took it to the repairer shop. He paid everything and brought it back home for me.
Okay, so can you move your legs or?
I can move.
Because I noticed the leg rest is not there.
Yes,
This
it's
wheelchair.
got lost. I was in Ibadan, I think it was last year, December. So I went out, and while coming back, I didn't know that the leg has removed on the road. And we could not
Is this
find
something
it.
that they sell separately, or
Well,
you have to get a complete wheelchair again?
I don't think we can find, because wheelchairs are very, very usually different. So having to find something like this, I don't think so. I don't think we can be able to get another one. Maybe it's either I keep managing it this way or get another. But it's a new wheelchair. I just got it from someone.
Is it up to a year?
No, it's not. I don't even think it's up to months. 6 months.
Oh,
I just got it. Yes, it's new. Someone on Facebook got it for me.